cheeks clap.
We are live. Okay. Let's see. We can fix it. All right. Let us know. We should be good. Hey everyone, how's it going? This is a new format for us, and if you're new to CCRL, this is going to be an awesome experience. If you're old to CCRL, if you've been around for a while, we've got new formats of racing, so stay tuned because this is going to be awesome. Yeah, I've got the modifiers up right here. So some of them that are really cool are like our rainbow run. All drivers will use all 3 tire compounds throughout the race. Captain Hostage is another one that looks really cool. 60% AI to race the captain's car until he can take control from lap 10. So basically, you've got to undo the damage that AI does in that situation. Another one that's really cool is Captain Engineer. So team captains playing the engineer role throughout the race. So it's not going to be fully reliant upon the captains carrying the team in a racing only format. Absolutely. Hey, Drez. Hey, try unmuting your phone real quick. I want to see if the audio comes through. I've got it. I show you're coming through now. So we'll get. I'm sure we'll get some feedback here in a second, but let's keep going. Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you're using all three drivers, all three tires, I mean that not only are you, I'm not sure how the pitting takes place either, right? Are they going to be jammed up in the pit lane, waiting for the guy in front of them to pit? You know, you're not only adding lap time, but you're also adding that ballet movement of cars on track and where they're at and when they're coming into pit. So that's a whole nother layer of strategy on top.
If my voice is not going out, I apologize. But you know what? I just want to dig into this. So,
We're going to keep trying different things
so
until we get this to
yeah,
work.
we'll figure it out. But I just want to have fun with this tonight. So look, the double points for pool three, you could see some really cool team strategies, right? Like the object might be to tow the double points guy, right? Into further up the field than they might be able to accomplish themselves with really good teamwork. That
All
man,
right,
that could
we got you,
be
Dresden. We got positive contact back. We our audio's figured out.
yes.
So okay, I think we're good. I think we're cooking with peanut oil now.
Yeah, that's the go. I hope nobody's allergic.
Right, 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 right.
So if you're just if you're just getting the into the conversation now, look, guys, all I did, you didn't miss much. I hyped the fact that I'm really excited about this format, and we're digging in to the modifiers. That's where we're at right now. So you haven't missed much. Um, so what's your favorite modifier? Do you have a favorite? Pick
So
two favorites because I've got two favorites.
I kind of like I kind of like top to back. So and that one is team captains cannot take part in quali. So
Mm,
I like a good race, whether it's real F1 or here on F122, of seeing people come through the field, right? It's fun to watch.
hmm
So I think that one's going to be very entertaining. The other one that I'm really looking forward to is Captain Hostage because I think we'll get a little bit more of the same with that. What about you, Drez?
Yeah. Captain Hostage is one of my favorites, right? Because man, you just can you imagine, right? You got to watch your slow car for a third of the race being driven by this stupid AI who's probably pitting when you don't need to, right?
Yeah,
So you gotta like, and does the AI pick the tire you start on in this situation? I don't know. That'd
it's
be an interesting
interesting. There's a
little
lot of
wrinkle, but
things that we've got to
it,
figure out for sure.
yeah, so the Captain Hostage one, that's one of my favorite. But definitely for me, the double points for pool three. I feel like really smart team strategy could come into play there. Getting your pool three guy as far up the field as possible, keeping him in contact with people that can help him move up the ranks. I mean, we could see some really interesting, wrinkles with these modifiers. And so I want to there's another thing about this format that I'm particularly interested in as well. When you're talking about content you're producing, right? Most of the races we watch week in and week out, they're very like you need to have a racing I don't know, not a background, but you need to have some familiarity to really understand the kinds of stuff we're digging into on regular weeks. But in this format, let's say you've been trying to get your wife or your girlfriend to come watch you race, right? You're like, these guys, they commentate, I've got these great footage, come hang out. But they come and watch, they don't know. They've never driven. They don't understand why we're making a big deal out of point 0.3 of a second. They just, it's not their thing. And so there's this barrier for watching our normal races. But these races, all you got to do is say, I'm on Team Yellow Jackets. We're in the yellow car. Come root for me. And your friends and family might be able to really enjoy this content a little bit more. So one night a month, that's not too much to ask for.
No,
So I'm
I think
kind of hoping we see.
I think you're right. You
Go
know,
ahead.
this format, the Constructors Cup, it gives a little bit more of a hometown feel, right? We've got player
hmm
liveries. We've got, it's just like
Mm,
back in the day when you're 6 years old, you're standing out on the playground, you're picking your team. It's got that
yeah.
hometown feel to it, and I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, the liveries. So I don't know I know one team name because somebody linked it somewhere. Okay, I know one team name, but I'm excited to find out the team names, and I cannot wait for us to unveil the liveries. That is going to happen as we introduce the captains later.
Hey, one thing, Drez, we haven't
Oh,
talked about yet is the tracks that we're going to be racing this season. So
that's
I'm
right.
going to bring those up just real quick, and we can kind of look at what this Constructors Cup is going to look like. So first off, first race, not tonight, obviously, because tonight is the draft format, but going forward, 8 March, our first official Constructors Cup race will be in Abu Dhabi, and that is a classic format with the straight shooter race type. From there, we head on to Miami, then Zandvoort, Hungary after that, and then Britain. We have a sprint format with a rainbow run race type. So I'm really looking forward to Britain. I think that's going to be an awesome race. After that, we head to Saudi, then on to Australia, Japan, Mexico. We've got a redemption, which is a reverse constructor point or team in this case, qualifying. So the grid will be lined up opposite to the team or to the standings. And then to round it out, we've got Spa in on the 13th of December with a classic format, and then that is our DP Pool 3. So those drivers from Pool 3 finishing in the points will get double points on the last race of the season. So that could really come down to a nail biter. Could be very fun.
Ready to go. And look, the I love that the pool three guys are going to have an outsized impact for those for 20% of the races, right? I love we showcase the tier S guys so often, right? But some of my favorite nights are when you know David is releasing the stone. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I love seeing, yeah, I love seeing the little guy having a shining moment. Those are special nights for me, and I think those DP3 nights they could be pretty special for guys we don't normally get to showcase.
I
So
absolutely
I'm excited about
agree.
that.
And we are getting ready to head into qualifying, folks. So we are going to hit the video and we will see you on the other side in qualifying.
Do you want to know what it's like? How it feels behind the wheel? On the most exclusive asphalt in the world. 1,000 horsepower at your command. Speed like you've never known. Millimeters between fame and failure. Milliseconds between first and forgotten. Take a seat.
Hello, race fans. We're back. We're in qualifying right now in Jeddah at the moment. Barney has got the lead. Lysick just behind him. Curveball's in third. Z-Milk is in fourth. And Reimer is heading up the rear. Oh, man. The curveball. So I am assuming these are the liveries.
You would be
I was
correct.
hoping. Oh, I was hoping to unveil them during the show, but that's okay. They're gorgeous, and look at Curveball's livery, man. Very Mercedes-Benz.
It is very dark, very dark. And well, I wonder if Curveball, so
Mhm.
that is not Curveball's official race livery. So I think some of these guys may
Oh,
have
no.
on a either a testing livery or something of the sort, not to show their actual livery.
Ah, okay, that works for me. So maybe there's still some surprise. Barney still in the lead here in Jeddah. Coming down the line. Looks like Barney is going to cross the line first. He does. Lysick is just by. Man, they were all very tight because it's already over.
Yeah, that was very close, very close.
That was hugely close. They're locked in. Jeddah, you don't come. Oh, okay. Reimer and Z-Milk disqualified.
That makes a little more sense, but yeah.
I was like, there was no time at all. Okay, so Lysing and Barney quite close. We don't have times from Reimer and Zemo, but they're not going to be punished too much, right? They're starting on the second and third row. Um, here in Jeddah. How do you prepare for a night like this? There's 5 races. We're starting in Jeddah, but it's Spain, Mexico, Spa, and Silverstone all in one night. How do you get ready for something like that?
I don't think fully that you can. I think it's more about being aware of what's going on. Obviously, there's only 5 cars on the grid, but that doesn't mean you still can't have a first turn pileup. So I think just being aware, being
Yeah.
patient, and kind of letting the races come to you is the key on a night like this.
Yeah, certainly DNFs have an outsized impact for sure because you lose points from one of the 5 races. That's 20% of your points gone, right? And I'm assuming it's standard point system. So you DNF, that's enormous. The one thing you cannot do tonight is DNF.
Yeah, we talked about that while we were talking show notes the other night. In that, go ahead, Dresden.
Race 3, 1, 2, 3. We are. I'm going to take it from curveball. Go. There is no formation lap. That makes sense. Everybody off the line very quickly. Leisig looking like he's got the inside line into turn 1. Everybody through clean, but Leisig forced inside. He's got curveball on his outside, but racing down to turn 4. Looking like curveball deep on the brakes, but going wide. Oh, joining the track. Forces curveball into a wall. Reimer now sneaks through. Curveball and Reimer come together. Oh, a big crash behind Leisig. Leisig's through. Z-Milk's through. We may have lost. No, everybody still has cars underneath him. No DNF. Woo, a big scuffle around turn 4. Curveball trying to hold on there. Join the track and bumped Leisig, and then it was just Reimer and curveball coming together as curveball lost speed.
Yeah, a lot happening there in the first few turns, and this is not really a track that is suited to that side-by-side racing. Very fast,
Look.
but
Heck no. It's not a, you'll have to excuse my language. It's definitely not a good track to be exploring the boundaries of the racetrack, that's for sure. So it's Barney in the lead, lap 1. He's got 1.5. Leisig did make up 0.6 over the course of that lap. Z-Milk is still in touch, and Reimer and curveball, I mean, was there wing damage? Yes, Reimer into the pits. Curveball, not into the pits. So Reimer getting the worst of that scuffle.
yeah, I think I think you just got to chalk that up to a first lap racing incident. I think curveball got a little out of whack and then almost kind of pinballed off a couple of the walls there, and he really was kind of just on a ride to end in that segment of turns.
It's going to be tough. So here's an interesting wrinkle, by the way. There are 5 stewards, each one of them assigned to one captain tonight, right? Urban was updating me about how they're handling this. So the stewards are going to come through with decisions very, very quickly. And man, they may need to take a look at that one. Curveball was deep on the brakes and left the track. And coming back on, man, there may be some steward actions there. So on track right now, we're in the middle of lap 2. Barney still in the lead by 1.2 seconds. Leisig and Z-Milk are having a bit of a battle. Z-Milk's a second behind. We'll have DRS for the next 3 laps.
And this is going to be quick, these 5-lap races. So they've only got a small window to use that DRS. So the fact that they can stay close to one another without it is a testament to the ability of these guys.
Yeah, Z-Milk slipping back a little bit. Now it's just Leisig within half a second, setting fastest laps on lap 2. Leisig looking to take a victory away from Barney at the moment.
Leisig is really putting that car through its paces. He's now within DRS range, and he will look to capitalize that as they come down the back stretch.
I love Jeddah, man. It just feels fast. The walls are tight. The curves just flow into each other. It is a lot of fun to sit in the car and watch races like this one.
Yeah, another track that you're hardly keeping the steering wheel straight.
No, you never do. Jeddah, one of my favorite tracks. The skill curve coming up here, Barney and Leisig are racing down to it right now. Talk us through it. It's right here. You slam on the brakes, but you got to carry speed through this section. You got to link those two turns, and it's critical because after that little braking zone, you're flat to the floor all the way down. It's basically a straight.
Yeah, and those corners are blind too to add to that. So you are throwing into the car just into space. You don't know what's there, and it's very scary even in this digital world.
So there's the DRS Open. Both Leisig and Z-Milk now troubling Barney for first place. It's lap 4 of 5. 2 laps to go. Barney still holds on to the lead.
Leisig now within half a second, so he's made up half a second in this last lap. The DRS down the back straightaway could allow him to get in front of Barney. We'll see what happens here.
Very, very locked in. So, man, there's been some practicing. Jeddah is not a place where you can just go there and be good. Like, if you haven't raced in Jeddah for a month, you got to get sighted back in. You just can't go to Jeddah and like, connect all the courses like that easily.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that having this track new on the calendar this year, I'm sure some of the real drivers were actually feeling that pain as well. At Mick Schumacher, literally, but
I remember those accidents. That's very true. Oh, man. All right, so it's lap 5. Barney still in control of this race. Z-Milk yo-yoing in and out of DRS range. This, my favorite corner here in Jeddah. The final hairpin at the end where you have to brave that wall on the exit to get a good time. We start the final lap now. Barney's still in the lead.
Yeah, significantly, Leisig has used almost his entire battery, and Barney's still sitting on almost 50%, so he may be able to defend anything Leisig's going to throw at him this lap.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. Barney's battery usage is a tipping point that he wields very effectively. Leisig will struggle to get it. In fact, there's Barney to pull in. He's probably using his battery now. Right, here, you know what, I'll just check it. Yeah, he's down to 40%. So Barney looking, oh, there's a big spin from Leisig. It's a huge spin. He's totally facing the wrong way, getting around. Man, Z-Milk is through. He'll be lucky if Curveball can't find a way through. Leisig, there's his wing as we're on board with Curveball right now. The final lap up for grabs. Leisig wounded, Curveball hunting.
And unfortunately, that's all happened before the DRS zone, so Curveball's going to be able to make up a bunch of time through that final corner.
Oh man, Leisig is holding on for all he's worth, but there's no way he has the downforce necessary for the final turn. Curveball's taking chunks out of him. Leisig ahead with no wing is 1.6 ahead as we head down to the final turn. Across the line, Barney, he wins. Z-Milk is in second place. Leisig still holds on to third for now and looking like he's gonna hold on to it after all. Curveball will be in fourth. Reimer with that lap 1 issue. 5th place.
Z-Milk really the big winner of this race, starting in 5th, making his way all the way up to 2nd.
Yep. Man, lucky to avoid all the scuffling around turn 1. Curveball just very, I thought the send was good until he was off the track, right? And then I think Leisig tried to leave him room to come in, but there's just, if you go long in turn 4, that wall is just sitting there, right? So you go long turn 4, and then you're like, oh, crap. I got to get back in before I destroy the car and, end my life.
Yeah.
So congratulations
It,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of reading through the chat here. I think the stewards are looking at that first lap incident, and I think they're saying it was just a racing incident. So should be no further penalties applied towards the end of this race, but we'll keep an eye on that.
I mean, I like that. I think you should lean towards that in an event like this, unless it's really egregious. And I don't think Curveball was egregious on that send. I think he had the right to try that deep outside line. He didn't hold it. Leisig did leave him space to get back on, but it's just a little too swervy. And then Reimer got caught up in that melee. So suffering the first race. And look at that, Reimer had fastest lap too, so
So he'll get that
he
extra
would have
point
been competitive.
for fastest lap, and I'm looking at our standings after race one, and we are in standard points. So 25 points to first, 18 to second, and so on.
Yeah, every victory tonight is going to be a big deal. And I think to be honest with you, I Barney has this like he's like a cheetah. You know what I mean? Really good short distances. His qualifying one lap pace is amazing. I think Barney maybe struggles over the length of a race. There's always seems to be one or incident that kind of grabs him up short. But tonight's format, I think, gonna favor Barney pretty heavily.
Yeah, I agree. You've got your drivers who do very well in a qualifying format. They can tune everything else out. There's not that many distractions, and they can kind of get the purest pace out of that lap. And then you got guys who are racers. They do well in the chaos. They do well in a pack. They can avoid contact, and you need a good mix of that for the total package.
Yeah, yeah. I want to point out, like having the five stewards all paying attention to each racer just to make this thing smooth, quick, to make the show run right. Like what a just it's good leadership, smart thinking there. I'm happy that we're putting on something that we can really believe in the results because they're taking them very seriously. So that's one down. Jeddah in the books had a exciting start, that's for sure. We're off to Spain now.
Off to Spain. Spain, not one of my favorite tracks. I don't feel like Spain flows well. But one of my biggest grievances, Dresden, about Spain is that
Yeah.
final chicane.
Mm.
And would you know, I believe they're doing away with it this year. I'm pretty sure
Really?
I read that they are getting rid of that final chicane in Spain this year.
I-
And I think that could make for some really good
Nah.
racing. So
Oh man, didn't it used to have like the old layout didn't have that chicane, I think, but we're talking like a long time
you're
ago.
correct. Yeah, I think that chicane
Okay.
was put in like 97 or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So look, that's very cool to find out. That'll change the way Spain feels as far as a race. Here's the thing about Spain, right? Spain's like either very, very boring or very, very exciting because if you get matchups between two people that are super like uh, evenly matched in Spain, what happens is they both come into turn one and you get these long extended battles around turn one and two, and then around turn three, whoever's stuck on the outside just loses. It doesn't matter, even if you're a little bit of a nose ahead, if you're the outside of that long looping turn three, forget about it. You're going to be behind by the time it straightens out again.
Yep.
So what you end up with is if you're not very far ahead on the outside line, right? You can't get the pass done. And you get these sort of like, I've seen long extended battles where one guy's just trying lap after lap and keeps getting pushed off around turn three. So I
Yeah,
don't know,
and then you've got
but those are rare.
the DRS going into after turn 8. So it gets you just close enough that you can kind of have a sniff at it, and then you're lost again through
Yeah.
that chicane section, the dual chicanes. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
frustrating lap to drive, and
It's
even more
really
frustrating lap to chase someone around.
Yeah, you're gonna follow forever if you don't get the pass. And if you're equally matched, and both drivers are consistent, if you go into turn, if you're not ahead by turn one, oh, it's raining
A
too.
wet Spain. This will be fun.
It's gonna be it's heavy raining. This big ass standing puddles. That'll be full wets for
Full
sure.
wets, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Oh, but this is just qualifying. It's one shot qualifying in the wet. It
Oof.
may not rain for the race.
This is where you separate
I
the
would
men
feel.
from the boys.
Yeah. Now, did you practice all 5 races? Did you practice them in the wet and the dry? I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's no way.
This is like when you turn up to elementary school for that day that you thought was supposed to be the day you watched a video in class, and surprise, it's a quiz.
Yep.
Didn't study for that one.
Yep. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, unless you don't have a job that you could qualify, that you could take them or practice them all the way you really need to. Okay, so we're in one shot qualifying again. It is Barney into the first turn in the lead. He must, a bit slippery around turn 2 as Barney loses 2 places. Z-Milk and Lysik are through. It's Z-Milk in the lead as we head around turn 3.
Barney really struggling
taking...
to find the traction here.
You know, so he made it into turn 1 the quickest, and it's just a straight drive after you released for one shot. He may not have the downforce for a wet track.
I think he's starting to claw back a little bit of time here. He's feeling out how much. Big snap.
I'm on board with him right now. Yeah, huge. And that cost him too. Curveball Reimer now through. Barney's back in, not nailed down. He's going to struggle if it's a wet race. Still very, okay, he's very much struggling. Let's head back up to the front with Lysik now. Coming around nearly the final turn into the chicane that we are ready to be eliminated from this track. Still in the lead. Curveball in second place. No, it's trading with Z-Milk there. No, it's Curveball. No, it's Z-Milk in second. Lysik across the ball, and I think Curveball snaked second place right there at the end.
We'll have
at
to
least
see.
On my screen.
Lysik did not seem to be struggling for traction in the same way Barney did. I think that's got to come down to setup difference.
It's got to be set up. So Barney was into first. He was ahead into turn 1. It's got to have the lightest downforce for his Spain setup, and that must cost him in the wet, I imagine.
So about a tenth, almost exactly a tenth. Z-Milk to Curveball.
Man, very, very close.
And then almost another tenth back to Reimer.
No. I've got a second. I have a second and a tenth between Curveball and Z-Milk. So I think Z-Milk maybe right out of that final turn he may have gotten a little squirrely and got the race underneath him.
Okay.
So yeah, Curveball is going to line up along Lysik. So we're going to see some more fireworks down into turn 1, it looks like.
All right, so it looks like a dry race. What do you think, Dresden?
Got to be dry. I'd prefer it to be dry. It does not look like Barney's setup going to be competitive in the wet. Though he did win the first race, that would be better overall, like for the long-term drama, if Barney finishes last.
Certainly would mix things up, wouldn't it?
It would. Okay, we're going to get started. 1, 2, 3. We are go. I'm on board. Okay. I'm on board with Z-Milk away, clean Curveball, looking like he's going to get the inside line in turn 1 as they race down their side-by-side. Lysik, I'm in Z-Milk's car. There's Curveball and getting pipped on the inside. No, it's been a Curveball. Lysik, oh, they've come together again. Both of them are out. Reimer takes the lead. Z-Milk behind. Barney very much on the back of Z-Milk's gearbox.
Yeah, he is hustling him all the way through turn 3. And that was crazy. I thought they were going to make it through cleanly through turn 1, but Leisig out. And he, after coming in second last race, that's the last thing he needed.
Oh, man. And now 3 seconds behind Curveball. Curveball, another 3 seconds behind Barney. Let's return to the front place. Barney very much eager to get through. Looks like he might have the fastest pace. He's been 0.2 this whole lap behind Z-Milk. And they're stacking up behind Reimer, both of them. Oh, again, the back end letting go for Barney, and that's cost him big time, 2 seconds back.
Yeah, and significantly, Curveball is recovered and catching Barney now. So we'll see if he can close that gap down. Meanwhile, at the front, it's pretty close.
It's very close. Reimer, Z-Milk 0.1 heading into turn 1. But like we were talking about, if these guys are going to be evenly matched, Reimer and Z-Milk, and if you're evenly matched in Spain, it's got to happen around turn 1. Man, I got to throw my information up every race apparently. Reimer, great start, up 3 from his qualifying and really holding on for dear life because Z-Milk just looks eager to get through.
Z-Milk definitely matching Reimer on pace here at Spa. And I think this could really come down to if Z-Milk can stay close enough through the chicane section and take advantage of that DRS next lap.
So, yeah, man, that's another thing. Like, you're going to get 2 laps of real, because you won't get it this lap, right? So, no, you'll get 3, well, 2.5, because it's the last lap will just be to the finish line, which is not enough to get by. And look at this, through the chicane, Reimer takes a big step forward. He's now 0.8 ahead. Z-Milk just losing touch with him through that final turn.
Barney setting the fastest lap on that lap, and we will now see Z-Milk, if he can stay within 1 second, get DRS on Barney in that section 2 straightaway.
Yeah, so Reimer, man, looks to be consolidating a little bit here. Curveball and Leisig still 3 seconds back. Both of them are. The only battle on track right now is Reimer and Z-Milk for the lead. Oh, we're going to have to break down the points after this race because they're going to get jumbled up. Oh, there's a big giant spin from Reimer. Z-Milk takes the lead. Barney is through. Reimer still trying to get the car underneath him. Curveball is through, and most likely Leisig's going to find a to last. Reimer
really threw away an opportunity there.
Oh, yeah, he did. What a big spin. So it's Z-Milk taking over the lead, and Barney now inherits second place. Lucky for him.
And fastest
took
lap
a lead
for Z-Milk to boot there.
Yeah, I think he's putting a little space in between him and Barney now. It was 2 seconds, now it's 3.7.
Yeah, he can really kind of relax these last couple of laps. I mean, you don't want to completely throw it in here. You want to keep the tires warm. You want to keep doing the things that got you to that number 1 position, but you don't want to be overstretching yourself and exploring what the car can do when you're 3.5 seconds ahead.
Yeah, 3.5. You got a lap and a half and 3.5 seconds. You better spend it wisely. So Barney sitting on 71%. Very conservative with his battery. Leisig's 2.5 behind. Did he suffer any wing damage? It doesn't look like it.
You know, I don't know. I haven't seen a good look at his car yet, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, so they just came together, it looks like, but car's undamaged. But Leisig unable to recover. Curveball as well, still back there. Man, Reimer, the first to last spin, you've got to be feeling that in your gut a bit.
I mean, also, Z Milk was putting on the pressure, so you can't deny that having that person behind you and knowing that they're eating up your exhaust, it definitely adds a bit of nervousness to your driving.
Absolutely. You just trying to push, because following is so much easier than leading, isn't it?
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Because when you feel the guy sneaking up on you, you keep pushing your car a little bit more and a little bit more because you just don't want to be passed. Leisig, man, looking here on the final lap like he's trying to get through curveball. He's got a second. I'm on board with him now. Z-Milk looks comfortable for the lead. Barney's probably going to grab second place. The only question left, can Leisig find a way through curveball? He's now within DRS range. We are coming to the close of the second race.
I don't think he's got enough time. That start finish line is pretty close to the start of that straightaway. Even if he does have DRS, he's not going to have enough time to get past curveball. I think curveball's done just enough to take that podium here at Spa or at Spain.
Yeah, he at Spain. Yeah, he always blinking and letting. Man, Leisig making a go of it on that final lap. Did finish quite close. If the stewards add any penalty time to curveball, Leisig will grab that spot. Another dramatic five-lapper, man. Like, a lot going on with these little, like, I don't know, like, what's the right word for it? It's like a dose of racing, these little five-lappers.
Yeah, we haven't had the close upfront racing that we thought we would, but it also hasn't been boring races. So
It has not been boring. Yeah, it's almost not enough laps for it to get boring. You know what I mean?
that's true. Yeah, there's not quite the field spread over 5 laps, not between this
Yeah,
caliber of talent.
No. So Z-Milk takes the lead here. Barney, though, probably in the best position. Well, oh, man, I can't remember who was second place for the first race. Was Z-Milk second?
No, Leisig.
Leisig was second. So Barney probably still has the overall lead, and I want to see that standings, right? Yes. Oh, it's very close. Barney 44 points, Z-Milk 43, Curveball and Leisig are tied, which is interesting because these two have been colliding a bit at 27, and Reimer having a rough start of it, 21 points for the Canadian.
Oh, your heart's got to break for Reimer. I mean, we could be looking at a totally different championship table right now.
Yeah.
Had Reimer closed out that he went from collecting that win to looking at it in a dumpster, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, I mean, you want it's like, man, it would be nice. So we've had 2 of the 5 have victories. I'd love to see each of them grab one victory. That would be pretty neat. So a shout out to everybody who is watching here tonight. It's so good to do an event like this. I have high hopes for this format, and like I said before, think about getting your friends and family, the people you want to root for you, to come watch you, like the local softball team, because this format is going to be much easier to understand. Tell them the team you're on, tell them the color of car they need to root for, and PK and I will explain the races in such a way that all they got to do is just enjoy their team that they're rooting for. So
That's right, Drez.
could be good content.
And we just got a new subscription from a Gabriella, and I hope I don't butcher this last name. My wife's Italian, so I think I got it. Pilecci, maybe? So, Gabriella, we thank you for your patronage and hope you come back and watch more.
Yeah, welcome to the CCRL content family, man. Like, there's this. Like I said, I'm excited about these races, but man, I think the flavor of these particular events, and there's something about this format, right? Because, and this is a discussion you and I have had before. This, we're not real F1, right? This is a video game, but we take it seriously, and the physics replication's so good that it can really feel like you're in the race car. And so the races take on a realistic feel, and we can all enjoy that. But there is also an element that of the video game ness that's not captured when you try to perfectly emulate what real F1 does. And so I think as an exploration this uh, of what this medium could be, the C4 Cup is a step in that direction, and I'm very interested to see like just how the races feel with these modifiers. Do Because when I watch, like, the reason I like realistic tier so much is because you get these mixed up races where you really don't know what you're going to experience, and I think the modifiers are going to have that same sort of effect on the race.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun to see. You and I are both huge Formula One fans. We love the competitive aspect, I think, of that, and a lot of what these
Yeah.
guys are doing, tonight, for example, translates. And just to see people competing in sport, whether it's esports or actual sport, it's fun to watch, and even more fun for us to
Mm.
commentate on. So, we
Hmm.
can't we, we can't thank these guys enough for doing what they do, so that we can do what we do.
Yeah, there's been a lot of work behind the scenes that needs to be acknowledged. Urban and all of the advisors have put a lot of work into putting together, like all those modifiers, they have to be thought out quite well. If you're gonna put something like that on, you have to really work through the implications, and that's been done. Like I said, having all the stewards lined up ready to get this race done live, and then reported back, and then all the work you've done, like all the live stream stuff, man, it's so cool. And I'm just so glad, like, okay, I always get into the sentimental bit. I just really enjoy what we're up to right now.
I'm gonna
The
change
next
your name
race
from
is
Dresden to Dove. You're always up on your soapbox.
that's true. I get I'm sentimental. What do you want from me? It's
Oh, we
gonna
love it.
happen.
We love it.
So it's Mexico next, and like the five races, you couldn't have chosen a, a wider variety. I mean, Monaco should be on here, right? I think I would
I
have
disagree.
traded. No,
Oh, I
no,
can't
come on.
stand Monaco.
I love Monaco. Like, if you're gonna have a race between the top five guys, Silver. Okay, Singapore then. Like, I'll
Yeah,
compromise.
Azerbaijan. If we're gonna do street track, yeah.
All right.
I think that I honestly though I think yeah you're right. This is a perfect subset of track, right? We've got new, old. We've
Yeah.
got classics and modern classics. But so yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think this is um, a perfect substrate of all the different skill sets you need to be a captain in this league.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go to a very open track that's very difficult to pass in Spain, and we head to the high altitude of Mexico for a very open but easy to pass track. Shot qualifying, he's followed by Barney. Reimer's in third place, and there goes Barney. Before turn one, he's ahead. Oh, but around turn one, there's some trading. Curveball, Z-Milk in the mix. Reimer now into second place. No, it's Z-Milk into first. Barney slipping back out of turn three.
I think
Into
Barney must have got
fourth
some
now.
oversteer going into or coming out of turn three.
All right. I was just on board with Reimer around 5 and 6. That he was having a bit of trouble keeping that back end nailed down. It cost him. Now he's in 4th place. Z-Milk leads now. No, Barney's back in front as we head into the S's. He's fighting with Z-Milk. They're battling back and forth. We're heading into the final stadium complex now. Z-Milk still ahead. They're very tightly back and forth. Barney, Z-Milk. The names jumbling around in the top the top left-hand corner of your screen tell you who is in the lead. It's Z-Milk across. No, Leisig pips it. On my screen, at least.
I saw that too.
Leisig looked like he, yeah, right across the line. They must have been like 0.1 apart.
It's going to be close.
Give me the numbers.
Holy cow.
Holy, look at that. Leisig, Z-Milk, Barney, all 3 within 1/10.
That's crazy.
That's sexy. That's what it is. Disqualification from Reimer. Some trouble. Oh, the Canadian's night just not going the way I think he wants to. Curveball is back 0.8 with a 1:18.11.
All right, so a little bit of a mix-up, I think, in the qualifying order we have seen over the past couple of races. What do you think, Drez?
Oh, it's hard to say. It's got to be who can keep the back end, like, don't spin. You know, whoever keeps, it's just, I mean, it's 5 laps, so what's the big, or let's see, the big deciding factors have been the mix-ups into turn 1. We've seen 2 in a row already. And then who does not spin, right? Taking away the bigger points.
Yep, and we've got a chicane in turn 1 here in Mexico City, albeit a faster chicane than what we're normally used to, but would not be surprised. History tonight, let's say there might be something going on.
Okay, it's 1, 2, 3. We are go very quickly. The lights are out off the line. It looks like Curveball's away well. So is Z-Milk. Leisig defending down to the first straight, holding the inside line. Leisig defending, but man, can Z-Milk send? The outside line is very good. Barney holds on to it, but will follow around the outside. Looks like there's Curveball, man, shoving his way through, but Barney holds on to the place. They're going to be side by side down to turn 4. It's going to be Curveball ahead. And Barney falls back, and now Reimer also challenging. They come together a little bit. Reimer falls back. Barney losing a number of places off the starts. Leisig in the lead.
Leisig can capitalize on this. He did a great job getting into the lead. If he can convert, this will be huge for the tournament tonight.
Yeah, he needs a win. He needs a win. The championship points now, right now, it's Z-Milk and Barney nearly tied at the front and a pretty far gap back to Leisig and Curveball. It must be said, Leisig needs the win.
Z-Milk is, after last race, he has looked like he is in a different form starting this race. Really hanging on to the back of Leisig.
He's 0.2 behind. He's not letting go. Curveball is slipping back his pace just a little bit slower, I think. And Barney trapped behind that beautiful black livery. Curveball is rocking tonight. Leisig still in the lead. Does not have DRS, does Z-Milk, but that's coming soon, and it's easy to get passes done here in Mexico.
Yeah, once
but man,
we get
the way
DRS
Z-Milk's
open, I see this shaking up quite a bit.
And Z-Milk driving like he does not need the DRS to get this pass done. Into the S's, very, very quick, a very good exit. He's gonna be ahead into turn, I think it's 10. Ahead is Z-Milk. Oh man, Leisig now following, but Leisig will be the one with DRS down the main straight.
That was an exceptional pass from Z-Milk to get that done without the help of DRS. We'll see if he can hold on to it now that he's lost that ability.
So it does not appear Lysick has DRS yet. He'll have it on the next lap. This long main straight, lap 4. It's going to be important. Back in the back, it looks like we've got, man, Reimer looking like he wanted to send, but still follows.
Yeah, all 5 cars right now within DRS to one another, so this could get really interesting once we get back on the start-finish straight at the end of Sector 3.
Man, oh, curveball, little twitchy, but does not look like it cost him too much. Lysick and Z-Milk. Very private battle at the moment. Still within DRS range's curveball, but he does seem to be yo-yoing around, falling out of that range, and really holding Barney up at the moment. Oh, Barney stepping out. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead, you call it.
Like Barney will follow, but was briefly thinking. So now we head on. This is going to be the lap where if you're going to get passes done, you need to get it done now. So where's the DRS? No, oh, there's DRS from Barney. He's looking like he's lined up. Lysick maybe following a little too far back. I'm on board with Barney, taking the outside line. Gonna be ahead into turn 1. Yes, he's got the place into third. Curveball follows.
Curveball doing the right thing there, allowing that racing room, and he is going to not get DRS going into the straightaway. That's interesting.
Yeah, the little bit surprising there. Reimer had it, Barney had it, but they're following. So this battle over third place is 1.6 behind. It's Lysick and Z-Milk. This is going to be, so on the start-finish straight coming up, it's going to be Lysick's last opportunity. But man, Z-Milk looks locked in here in Mexico.
He's driving with a purpose. That is for sure.
Z-Milk looking locked in on all these tracks. I think very practiced. He wants that first draft pick this evening. Oh, I can't wait for the draft.
You had forgotten all about it, didn't you? Just watching
yeah,
the
I did. I just got into the racing. So Lysick looks too far back, I think. Yeah, he's going to follow again. So we're going to stay on board here because we got to see into turn 4. That's really his last opportunity. A very good exit through turn 1. Here it is. Here it is. He's right where he needs to be. He has no battery. He does have DRS. Can he get us in? Defending the inside line in Z-Milk. Into turn 4 we go. Z-Milk still ahead, trying to get a little bit of a switchback. No, it's not going to work. Z-Milk still leads. Oh, man.
That was an interesting complex of corners, and I don't think we can count them out yet. You know, Z-Milk made that pass going into turn 10. We could see something similar from Lysick going into turn 10 as well.
It does look to me like Z-Milk's got the S complex nailed down just a hair better than his competition, and a penalty from, a big penalty from Lysick. It's 2 seconds. Can Barney snake a second place away from Lysick? I think he's going to. Barney into third place. The penalty, man, costing Lysick.
Wow. So Z-Milk for the win and Barney sneaking in a second place. This is going to really put Z-Milk head and shoulders above the rest of the grid going into the next race.
Yeah, so Z-Milk's going to invert. He's going to take over the lead. Barney will follow into second. And Lysick not grabbing that win. Man, so the pass from Z-Milk without DRS in an unconventional passing place, not unheard of, turn 10. But just really like we were on board. Well, I was on board. I hope you were too. But through the S's, Z-Milk, that first lap looked so good, so nailed in, and just pipping Lysick through that final turn. Good. So for sure, Z-Milk's gonna take over. Let's see. Let's check the standings now.
Yep. So Z Milk goes to the top of the leaderboard with 69 points. That puts him 7 in front of Barney, who is at 62 points. Then further down the grid, we've got Leisig in third at 42, Curveball in fourth at 39, and Reimer bringing up the rear with 31. And significant, I want to point out significantly, Leisig right now more than a win away from the top position of the standings right now. So he's going to need to at least win one of the next two races and still place a podium, I think, to give Z Milk a run.
He'll need to win two of them, I think, because if Z-Milk and Barney don't have any DNFs, 27 points, I mean, Leisig almost out of the conversation, if you think about it. And 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 this is quite surprising. It must be said. You would I mean, if I lined all five of them up and I said pick one, right? You got to pick one to win tonight. You would have thought Leisig would have come out on top. Some struggling in those first two races, a little bit of wheel banging, and Leisig try. And actually, I mean, Z-Milk, you have to give him real credit. He's locked in tonight, has shown up and done well all three races.
Yeah, I agree. I think race one, he might have been a little bit off the pace, but uh, through all the way through races 2 and 3, he has just been nailed down, and that car has been on
Mm,
rails.
on rails is the right way to put it. So we travel now to Spa. Any DNF around Eau Rouge? You want to take a guess?
Um, Lap one? No, I don't think so. Here's what I think. Spa is the track on the calendar where you need ultimate efficiency. We're talking not only, you need the perfect amount of downforce, but you also don't want to be
Mm,
too draggy because Spa's got it's one of the longest laps on the calendar, right? So there's going to be plenty of time
yeah.
for that car to be at full throttle. You don't want anything holding you back, but you also need to be able to get those tires to grip in those tight twisties as you're going through the hills of the Black Forest. So we'll see. This is going to come down to setup, I believe, these guys. So do you have someone in mind, Dresden, who's really into the setups, who knows how to dial a car in?
Well, I'll tell you, when watching uh, Reimer race, like usually you feel like his straight line speed is exceptional, right? And I've been commenting on that for a long time right now. But uh, Spa, you're right. It's a race. It's almost like two racetracks, right? You've got Kimmel Straight, Blanchimont. You've got these really long sections where you don't want any wings. You want to take your wings off the car,
Yeah.
right? But section two, you want all the wing. You know what I mean? Because they're those long looping corners where you just need a lot of grip, right? Especially front end, your front end limited along some of those long real straights, so you want a lot of downforce. So you can get by uh, on with a number of different styles of setups. But I'll say this: I think between these guys, the faster downforce is going to be favored, right? You can keep up in sector two, you can keep up on lap time with a higher downforce setup, but you cannot get passes done and you cannot defend, uh, down the long straights unless you would just have as much wing as you can stand taken off.
So your bet is whoever sheds the most wing is going to win this race.
Like I'm looking for Reimer here, right? He's normally pretty fast in a straight. I want to see a little bit of redemption for the Canadian driver. I'm gonna put my I'm putting five on Reimer.
Okay. Okay.
Put me down.
I think I'm gonna make a hypothesis towards Z Milk. I think maybe he
uh,
doesn't quite have the setup that Reimer's got, but I think he's on fire tonight. You know.
is on fire. Damn, Z-Milk showed up to grab that first pick for sure. And what a fun, like, this is the top of the food chain, and there's bragging rights on the line tonight as well. Z-Milk right now got the most to brag about.
That's true. That's true.
Uh, One shot qualifying. Guess who's in the lead off the bat? It's Barney around turn one, but there's Z-Milk curveball also fighting out of turn one. Is Z-Milk in the lead?
Curveball's done an excellent job in qualifying tonight. He's always been up there in the top three, just pounding out the laps.
So it's Leisig in the back of the field, but as I cycle through everybody, they do seem quite close into Lake Holmes. Barney leads now. Z-Milk into second place. No, out of Lake Holmes, Z-Milk. They're trading back and forth. Now the section 2 is going to tell us who's got the most downforce. Barney Z-Milk still trading. Reimer now takes over from Curveball. And Leisig also passes Curveball somewhere in that section. Curveball struggling just a little bit.
And you can see just how little wing these guys are running as these cars go through they're just throwing these cars in, and they're doing everything they can to comply with the inputs these drivers are giving them.
Yeah, and I think you have to be running a.
You there, Dreads?
That's fixed it. All right. So look, Barney takes pole by 2/10. Z-Milk only slightly back. It's Reimer in third place. Z-Milk and Reimer very, very close to each other, 0.003 of a second. Curveball must have had a spin, a 10-second gap back to him. He will start on the third row. Intense. It's intense. It's intense. These one-shot qualifyings, they mean so much. Oh, look at that. Who's the rain master in Spa? Who's the rain? I'm still betting on Reimer. Win me my $5, Reimer. Let's go.
This will be interesting. I thought it might rain. I saw it getting cloudy.
Okay, we're off the lines. 1, 2, 3. We are go. Barney off of pole. Everybody gingerly off the line. Z-Milk struggling a little bit. There goes Reimer and Leisig shoving his way through their very compact Reimer. Oh, sorry. Z-Milk holding on. Barney's had some trouble. A spin immediately in the rain. He's out of contention. As we head down to Blanchimont on board with Curveball ahead. Z-Milk and Reimer side by side. No, Reimer falls back a little bit too much because there's Curveball on his side. We are all over the place. Reimer now heading down the Kimball Straight will take over the lead. Z-Milk follows Curveball behind. And a little bit further back from this action, it's Leisig in fourth place.
And Leisig had a date with the wall there that he did not miss, getting a little bit of front wing damage.
A little bit. The whole thing's gone. Man, Leisig struggling this evening. So too Barney. A big spin around turn one. We saw that earlier. Struggling in the wet was Barney. Reimer in the lead. Give me my $5. Z-Milk now 0.4 behind, and Curveball still in touch with the leaders.
You'll notice Z-Milk is running a little bit of a different line in this wet conditions. A little bit more inside and kind of tighter circumference around these turns than I would have imagined seeing.
Yeah, Z-Milk looking pretty locked in here in the wet. He is crawling all over the back. Oh, and very wide and too wide out of Stavilo. Reimer falls back into second place. Z-Milk, another unaided by DRS pass. Woo, man. Z-Milk ready to race tonight. Reimer looking for a send into the bus stop, but will fall back and follow. Curveball is in touch. Leisig, man, will he pit? Yes.
Ooh, big snap of wheel spin from Reimer there. It looks like Curveball is going to take that position away from him.
Oh, man. I missed that completely. Curveball is through into second place. Z-Milk leads heading down to Eau Rouge, lap 2.
You know, and we talked about downforce before the show and how that plays a difference into this track, but you can throw all of that out the window now that we're in a wet race, because in the wet you want as much downforce as you can get.
Yeah, you want to stick to the track, and so, man, was Z-Milk running the most downforce because he looks to be the one struggling the least here in the wet. So lap 2, it is Reimer very close to Curveball. That's the action on track. Curveball struggling, but gamely still in touch with Z-Milk. Leisig has had some struggles. He was into the pits. So too Barney, also into the pits. They're in 4th and 5th at the moment and pretty far back.
Yep, and for those of you who are new to Formula One, in wet conditions like this, we won't see the DRS activated. So next lap, we typically would see it, but due to the weather here, we will not.
Yeah, that makes the turn one scuffles so important, because once you settle down into, the race, when it's wet like this, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for Z-Milk to make a mistake. Otherwise, when are you going to get through?
Yep, that's when and then you got to get a little bit more creative in your driving lines. But if this was real, the spray would really preclude you, as Z-Milk just really gets a huge snap oversteer and Curveball going for a pass into turn one.
Oh, it looks like he's going to get it done. Z-Milk, though, now a good switch back around turn one. Racing, though, Curveball does have the speed into Blanchimont. They go still side by side. No, Z-Milk falls back, follows now. Curveball lucky not to get a penalty. The exit out of Eau Rouge goes to Z-Milk and ahead. Down into Lake Holmes. It's going to be Z-Milk. That was a fun set of turns.
Curveball is not going to go down easy. Z-Milk has still got his work cut out for him, and he's going to have to keep his driving standards up to win this race.
Yeah, against the Tier S guys, just that little twitch out of the bus stop, that was enough to give it back to Curveball. But Curveball was wide around the source, and Z-Milk took advantage, had the better exit out of Eau Rouge. 0.7 ahead now, lap 3. Fun stuff. Isn't a fun little like little shots of racing, like you've lined up 5 tequila shots, all right, and we're downing number 3 right now. Or 4. This is the 4th one.
This is number 4 on our exquisite shot line.
Gonna need another lime. Z-Milk does look like he's consolidating, and Reimer for sure is falling back a little bit. You may have picked the right horse.
Z-Milk has
Z-Milk
been
hard.
on it.
Yeah, hard to beat tonight. Z-Milk looking locked in.
Reimer does seem to be making up considerable time, though. He is coming. He's still got a couple laps. We've got a couple laps to go, and he is now within 2 seconds to these front runners.
So beginning of the fourth lap, we have 2 to go now officially. Curveball 0.5 behind. He's been in touch with Z-Milk. We've seen a back and forth battle. Surprising when it's wet, but still getting a good show. Curveball very wide, still no penalties. They're being quite lenient around Eau Rouge this evening. And now that little bit of slowness has let Reimer get caught back up. Reimer now in the back of Curveball.
Yep, all three of these guys almost equidistant from each other. And it like you said, it's just going to be a twitch here or a twitch there. A little bit of wheel spin is all it's going to take for someone to lose 2 places here.
It's going to be a big deal. Can Z-Milk, if Z-Milk secures another win, man, can you just bag it up? Can't you just bag? I don't think he'll be mathematically out of it, but it would take like a DNF if he takes the win here.
Yeah, I mean, if he takes the win here, I think that does mathematically put him out of reach, even with a DNF.
Yeah, this is gonna be we may only need 4 races to find out who's gonna get the first pick this evening. Z-Milk just very strong. So it's lap 4 coming to a close. We're heading down into Blanchimont with the leaders. Z-Milk 1 second ahead of Curveball, who's 1 second ahead of Reimer. Leisig and Barney having lap 1 troubles. They're paying for it still. Over a pit stop back for both of them. Around turn 1, everybody clean exits. Z-Milk still leads. It's the final lap.
I keep looking at these times out of habit to see who's within DRS range, but it's not making a difference. Oh, we've lost Curveball.
Oh, wow, trying to get the power down out of Lesource. Curveball with a big swing. Reimer is through into second place. Curveball falls back.
And he's got significant damage to that wing. Looks like the right end plate is missing, so that's going to hamper him around this last lap.
Yeah, that is a broken wing. It sure is. So expect Curveball to fall away, but probably not going to lose 15 seconds worth of pace. He's got to be safe in third. Reimer 2.7 behind Z-Milk. Z-Milk probably taking his foot off the gas just a little bit. I would.
Yeah, at 3 seconds, you've got a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, you do. It's got to feel good. He battled all 5 laps, but Curveball just a little twitchy around that first turn on the final lap. And man, he's got to want it so bad, does Curveball, right? Because those kinds of twitchy acceleration moments are when you're just eager on the gas, when you're just trying to push it a little bit more than you should.
Yeah, and even in the wet, even more so, because you're just pushing that throttle just a hair farther than you did the lap before to see if you can get away with it. And in wet conditions, that's sometimes a hair too much.
Yep. 1 or 2 hairs too much for Curveball this evening. Looks like we can go on board with Z-Milk to give him his due. He's in the bus shop, and the bus will take victory from Spa. Reimer a close second. He's 3.6 behind. Curveball will grab third place. And man, did Leisig catch up that last lap from 15 seconds behind to 8 seconds, but still just too much of a gap for Leisig to make up. And Barney finishes 5th place. Man, after such a great start to the qualifying, the last 2 races for Barney, a bit disappointing, must be said.
Yep, and you can go ahead and just postmark that $5 and put it in the mail, Dresden. You thought I forgot. No, Z Milk, incredible race. I mean, yeah, the last three races, he's just been on it, and congrats to him.
It's fair. It's a fair call out, right? Because when Reimer was in the lead, I was all talking about the $5, but as soon as he fell back, I forgot the conversation completely. So Z Milk, the right horse to call, the American on the top podium. And now let's take a look at the points because Z Milk's got to be nearly untouchable, I would think.
Well, and as you say that, Dresden, I am keeping a close eye on our cup chat right now to see what the stewards say. If you remember that first lap, first turn incident, Barney got blasted. So we'll see if
Mm.
anything changes as far as the race outcome. But as it stands right now, Z Milk in the lead, 94 points, followed by Barney at 72 points. And you said it, only a 22-point gap. So this thing is not over yet. Barney can still win and be in contention for that number one spot. Leisig at 55 points, 39 points behind. Curveball at 54 at 40, and Reimer at 49 at 45. So still a lot to play for here going into the final round.
So Lysig, Curveball, Reimer, they're all neck and neck. So whoever finishes ahead out of those three, Lysig, Curveball, Reimer, gonna get the better pick. Barney still in contention for first place, but he'll need a DNF from Zemo. Zemo finishes the next race, he's done. He gets first pick. Barney looking solid for second. He's got, what is that? 15? No. 17-point lead on Leisig. So Barney just needs to finish and he'll grab second. If Barney can win and Z-Milk DNFs, then Barney can still take first pick tonight. But really, most likely, especially the way Z-Milk's driving this evening, it's looking like Z-Milk's going to be first, Barney second place, and then we're very much jumbled up for who's going to get the important third pick.
Yep, it's going to be very interesting to see who gets that third pick. And we haven't really talked about how the draft is going to be, how it's going to commence, but that third pick could be very pivotal because in a snake draft, you're not too far away from the front, but you're also not, you're also not getting, that first pick and then the 10th pick, right? So you're kind of in a sweet spot there.
Yeah, it is. So we'll talk about that uh, a little bit. For anybody who doesn't know, a snake draft works like this. If we took the standings as they were right now, Z Milk will get the first pick, Barney second, Lysig third, Curveball fourth, Reimer fifth. But then we would do a reverse order for the second round. Reimer would take the first pick, Curveball second, Lysig third, Barney um, fourth and Z Milk fifth. So that's the way the rounds will go tonight. And we'll do 3 rounds of picking, but there is a ton of value in picking first. If you've poured through the stats, there are some people you would want to have the opportunity to pick first. So it's hard to say. I like for me, I think I would race for first pick. I think there's just too much value in picking first and second, even though your next pick is going to be, ninth or 10th, right? That first pick, there are some real standouts you could grab on your team.
Yep, yeah, there are, and I'm sure we're gonna get into those in the post show here after our final
Hmm.
race at Silverstone.
Yep, so it's time for Great Britain. Yeah, we're going to need to get into the pools. Like we'll need to explain the pools and look at the pools and talk about them. and uh and then we're going to do a whole section where the captains are going to introduce their team names and we're going to show off their liveries, so look forward to that. And if you're watching, everybody wants to know when you're going to get picked. So there's going to be some drama there. Still a lot of show ahead of us. Great Britain. We need to get that done, and then we are set to go. Man, it's been fun. All the races have been pretty interesting.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, we haven't really. I think the last couple races we've had some pretty decent fights at the front of the pack. I'm hoping that Silverstone gives us a little bit more of that because it's conducive to that. Those long sweeping corners can lend itself to some great side by side racing.
Yeah, so we were a bit spread out in the wet here after the first two laps in Spa, but Silverstone, that's a track everybody knows very, very well. And when you're evenly matched, you get these very long battles, like you're saying. So, gonna be a good one, I have no doubt. Unless we get more turn one shenanigans. It's been I think I have to feel for Leipzig. Has there been a race this evening where Leipzig didn't have some amount of trouble?
I'm trying to
Has
think. Uh, I think he's been, yeah, I think he's been involved in something every race.
Yeah, I had a bit of trouble nearly every race. So luck, not Lady Luck, not on Leisig's side this evening. It must be said.
So this will be interesting. We've got, we got to keep an eye on Z Milk going into this race to see, make sure, he DNFs or something. But a lot of things to cover.
A lot of things. So Z-Milk really just needs to finish. He's got it locked in. Into qualifying we go. Around turn one, it's Z-Milk in the lead. Barney second place. Leipzig in third. Curveball is in fourth as we come around Village, and Reimer brings up the back of the pack. Z-Milk's still ahead. Not by much though. They're neck and neck.
This is a part of the track that you can really lose a lot of time going through this corner.
It's surprisingly difficult to get right. That long sweeping right-hander, kind of a bit of a double apex. Leipzig looking nailed down, but Barney does pip first place as we head down into the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Oh, Barney falling way back. Curveball is through now into second place. Barney into fourth. He must have had a twitch. Leisig's through. Reimer still bringing up the rear, but it is Z-Milk locked down as we head into Stowe.
I am holding out here to see if Z-Milk can secure a front row.
I think he's going to do it around the final turn. Z-Milk in the lead. Man, a bunch of DNFs right there at the end. I think a lot of spinning around the club corner.
Everybody is giving it everything they got to try and get on that front row in this last race.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing too, right? It's only 5-man grid, so if you're not in first place, maybe you push it. Why not?
Yeah, there's not
right?
a whole lot to lose in qualifying.
Leipzig, Barney, Reimer, all disqualified. Must have, and all three of them around the same corners. They must have lost it right at the end there.
And this is really the battle we're watching for that third place finish is Leipzig, Curveball, Reimer. So wondering if they're going to keep it together going through turn one, these three.
Yeah, Curveball got the advantage at the moment. He'll start on the front row. All right. Race of the 5-lap, 5-race sprint marathon. Let's go. Just needs to finish. He's going to take first place if he has 4 wheels on at the end of the race. Barney has a shot at first place, but he'll need a DNF and a first place finish in order to make that happen. The real battle still left to be decided is between Curveball, Leipzig, Reimer. They're all within about 6 points. It is 1, 2, 3. We are go here in Silverstone. I'm on board with Leipzig away clean. Both Z-Milk and Curveball. Curveball fighting on the inside line, but cannot keep his speed up enough. He's going to lose the position. No. holds on, fights back from Z-Milk, or from Leisig. Leisig still has trouble. Barney and Reimer, everybody very, very close.
Leisig thinking twice about sticking that wing up the inside of curveball there through turn 2.
I think he's learned his lesson tonight. He's got to be a little safer. Curveball feisty this evening. A little wide there, but has a good exit. Does curveball, but Leisig just tucked underneath. Surely not a sin. Surely he will follow. Does follow. Oh, curveball has a really bad exit there into Cops. We head into the Maggots and Beckett's complex with Leisig ahead.
Curveball really struggling out of Stowe, and that carried through Maggots and Beckett's. He's losing heaps of time to Barney behind even now.
Oh, man. Oh, can he hold on to third? Barney very eager to get through. So Z-Milk, who does not need to win. He just needs to finish 1.5 ahead of the rest of the pack. Z-Milk just looking impressive this evening.
He is absolutely on top of his game tonight and didn't come to race for second place or below. He is here to win.
He is here to win. Here to win, putting his stamp on this 5-lap or this 5-race tournament is Z-Milk, looking like he's going to be untouched. Back behind him, Leisig, Curveball, and Barney. They're all very close, and they're all trying to figure out who gets to pick the third place at the moment. Oh, no, excuse me. Leisig, Curveball, Reimer still in that mix.
Barney very close to the back of Curveball. He could make a play on Curveball here going into Stowe. I don't think he will.
A little wide, both of them, and it's into the Maggots and Beckett's complex, where you need to have the best exit for your best passing opportunity. Curveball and Barney look about even on this lap. DRS will be available next lap.
Unfortunately, Barney just picked up a 2-second penalty for track limits going after that Maggots and Beckett's complex. So that's going to take him out of the running just about here.
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. Barney's cussing it. I would be.
I know
2 seconds with only 5 laps. It's huge. Barney may be out of contention. Leisig trying to get a race win tonight, and if you'd have told me Leisig would not have taken a single win out of these 5 laps, I would have told you you're crazy. But man, them's the way the cookie crumbles, I think.
Yeah, I think going into this, we kind of all expected maybe a win apiece across these guys, such as the talent spread among these captains. But Z-Milk's just been absolutely dominant.
Yeah, definitely prepared. You have to think he may have, because in this sort of setting, right? I think preparation has got to win over skill, because you're trying to be ready for 5 different races with such different characteristics, and like you got to be locked in for all of them. Yeah, except for, maybe Spa and Silverstone, you don't have to practice as much because you just know them so well. But those other ones, I've got to get sighted in each time. We've got some interesting things going on in the back. Looks like Curveball and Reimer having a bit of a battle. Curveball still ahead right now, but Reimer eager to get through.
Yep, that battle is for the on-track pass, but Reimer also now with a 2-second time penalty. So Curveball really kind of taking advantage of the situation and could find himself in a podium position.
I think he's going to. He's 1.3 behind. We're on lap 4 of 5. He just needs to hang on. He does not need a pass now. He just needs to hold on to 0.7 seconds over a lap and a half.
And I think that's very doable with the pace differential between the 5 of these guys. and such the layout of Silverstone. It should be, I wouldn't say easy for him, but doable.
Doable. He's down 3/10, and he's got a lap to go. He also has to fend off Reimer. Maybe curveball might be too much for one plate. I'm on board with Leisig now, trying to figure out if Leisig is gonna figure a way through Z-Milk. He's got DRS, but he looks way too far back.
Certainly won't be available for a send on this lap, but he's got another lap and a couple DRS straights to make up some ground, and we'll see if he can battle for the last win of this 5 Cup Series.
You gotta think, like, just for bragging rights, right? Leisig wants a win in this series, at least one. Did I see a? Oh man, Leisig out of battery completely, and Z-Milk holds on to 32%. It is the final race, and I don't think Leisig's in a position that he needs to be to get a pass done. Z-Milk is gonna take the win.
Yep, and significantly Curveball now has picked up a 2-second penalty. So places 3, 4, and 5 will finish as they finish.
As they finish, so if it stops the race right now, Leisig going to take the third podium or the third pick, and probably, oh man, I don't remember the points differential between Reimer and Curveball. So fourth and fifth still up in the air. Z-Milk's going to get first pick, Barney second, Leisig third. We head into the final passing opportunity. Leisig still a little too far behind, has no battery to play with. There goes DRS. But that's just a mile of distance here in Silverstone. Z-Milk, if he keeps the car underneath him, gonna take the win.
Currently a 5-point difference right now between Reimer and Curveball. So that is surmountable and could change based on the finish position.
So across the line, it's Z-Milk in the lead. Leisig second place. Barney's grabbing third. Reimer takes fourth. Curveball brings up the rear. Whoa! That's 5 races. 5 lappers done and in the books. So, man, are the stewards going to interject here? I didn't see anything in Silverstone where they need to add anything, but man, the beginning of Spa, the beginning of Spain, and the beginning of Jeddah had some drama for sure.
Yep, and nothing formal was submitted to the stewards on behalf of those drivers. So I think the results, the way we see them, is the way that they're going to finish. So I don't foresee any additional rulings coming down.
That's good. Like, you don't, I would hate for stewards to have to step in and make a decision between these 5, that changes the picking order at all. So I'm glad to hear that. So Z-Milk, what a night from him. Was basically dominant this evening. I'm betting it comes down to prep. I definitely want to ask him about it. Leisig takes second place here in Silverstone, was competitive against Z-Milk. Give him another couple of laps, he might have found a way through. Barney third, Reimer fourth. Let's look at the standings.
Currently, we've got Z-Milk at 119 points, leading this 5-lap Cup Championship Sprint Series tonight. And I don't. So we say 119. That's, folks. That's out of, a possible 125. Right? Am I right, Dresden?
That's
25
pretty
points
good.
a race.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely incredible that he's only missed out on 6 points across 5 races. Barney in second place with 87, and that's a 32-point gap. Leisig in third with 74. Curveball in fourth with 64, and Reimer bringing up that 5th place with 61 points.
I see a message. There is one Stewart's inquiry. So we've got one. Yeah, so we're going to get one steward decision, and man, where could it affect? Probably if it's between Reimer and Curveball, there could be some switching. So we'll see. And it was Curveball lasted. Oh, I lost my Curveball had the final points. Do you remember what his points total was?
Curveball?
Yeah.
I I don't. It's just
It's
I've just
okay.
lost it
I
here.
just did. I should have written down faster. So that was exciting. Now we are going to turn to the next section of the show, guys. So we're going to get all the racers here in chat. So let me do that real quick. And man, then we're gonna introduce the captains. We're gonna take a look at all the liveries, learn the team names. We're gonna get a finalized version of uh, of who's picking in what spot, and then after we chit chat with the race with the captains for a little bit, we're gonna get into the draft. So all of that to immediately follow. Let me get some invites out.
This is exciting. A live draft to pick the teams that are going into this CCRL CC constructors or no constructors cup. This is exciting.
Yeah,
I've not seen anything like this
yeah.
before, Dresden. I'm I applaud CCRL for pioneering this idea. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be very neat to find out like just how it plays out. So we're gonna get those drivers in. They're joining the chats. They're joining the chat now, and we're gonna get a steward's decision. So we've got interim results at the moment, and we will be finding out who is going to actually take victory tonight. So let me remind due to a network error. So let me remind the captains as they're coming in. Go ahead, jump on the mute and check that setting. Go to your voice settings and just double check that that you're sharing your voice because we definitely want everybody else to hear, um, you know, who you're picking. That would be pretty important. But we've got lots of questions. There's a bunch of stuff we want to get into. So an exciting 5 races. That was fun to watch, and man, Z Milk just dominant for sure. But while we're waiting on the stewards, let's break down. Let's take a look at the pools. Okay, so can you explain for the viewers who's watching who may not understand how are the pool systems work? How does the draft work?
Right. So we've got the our constructors cup graphic up here. The pools work like this. So in CCRL, you'll hear me or Dresden talk about S tier drivers or A tier drivers, B tier drivers. Those are the pools that these captains will be picking from tonight. So the captains all S tier drivers or S tier plus. Dresden sometimes you'll refer to them as S tier and then give them a plus or minus rating. And so pool 1, we're looking at our A tier drivers. These are drivers who are bringing solid pace night in and night out, who maybe haven't scored as many points or don't have that high of a point per race total as our S tier drivers. Still very quick drivers, but could be lacking in one or two areas. Maybe it's consistency, or maybe it's qualifying, or maybe something like that. Then we move towards our B tier drivers and our C tier drivers. Those are our up and coming drivers. Those drivers who maybe haven't had as much time behind their simulator rig as the rest of these guys, or maybe they're learning the mechanics of how Formula One and Formula 122, the game, actually work. Maybe they're still working on strategies. Maybe they're still working on how to deploy the ERS in ways that really affect your lap time. So those are going to be our pools. So we've got our captains who are picking, who we've just watched complete those 5 races. And then in pool 1 will be our A tier, pool 2 will be our B tier, and pool 3 will be our C tier.
captains must choose one racer from each pool. They do not have to choose from the A tier with their first pick. They can go down to B or C if they think there's value there that they want to pick up first. And so you're right. So they're divided up by points per race, really. So the pool A guys have the highest points per race ratio, and then it goes down from there. But because that's the one statistic that is dividing these pools up, points per race, there are other things that kind of have mismatched things. A couple things as I was pouring through here that I'm very interested in. First, it's only season two, right? And season two has been a long time, and some of these racers have been coming on strong very lately. So all season two doesn't really represent kind of where some of these, especially in the pool B, where some of these drivers are racing right now, where they're at the moment. So there's that little wrinkle to think about. And then there's other things like attendance, uh, um, uh, penalties, right? Like there's a lot of little factors to think about. So I'm very interested to find out from the racers themselves just what it is they're thinking is the most important. Okay, so we've got the pools. We're going to have 3 rounds of picking. We're going to be starting that draft soon. What we're waiting on right now is a final word from the stewards about who has or what the final point section is. So stewards are working on that furiously behind the scenes. So we're going to get that very shortly. In the meantime, why don't we go ahead and start maybe with curveball? Actually, hey, let's just do this real quick. Curveball, if you can unmute your mic, let's test your sound, bud. How are you doing?
Good. How's it going? Curveball here.
Uh, how you doing, bud? Welcome to the stream. Z-Milk, can we check on your mic as well?
How's it going, guys?
How you doing, bud? Lysig, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Barney, how are you doing, bud?
What's going on, guys?
And there's one more. I've got Reimer, Z-Milk. Oh, Reimer, how you doing?
Hey guys.
Okay, so has anybody not shared their voice? I'm assuming everybody has had a chance to find that. Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. So look, let's start with curveball, okay? We've got so if everybody will mute curveball, come off mute, bud, and we're going to start with the livery. Can we throw that up on the screen? How are you feeling tonight,
Yeah.
curveball?
Not too bad. I mean, a little bit of an underdog coming in, but I held my own on a couple tracks.
You held your own quite well. I mean, the statistics don't lie. It's the thing I love about racing the most.
Yeah,
We measure everybody down to the thousandths of a second. You were the underdog tonight, but it didn't look like that on track.
correct. So, do you guys got a picture of the lively, or should I show it on my stream?
What's the situation there? What do you think, Bud? PK?
We've got it. We've got it. Are we ready to start showing live liveries here?
Yeah, let's
right.
let's start with curveball. I think I really want to start digging it.
Yep, live. It is up. The livery is up live, and I love it. It looks awesome. I mean, you couldn't have encapsulated it better with a team name than Yellow Jackets. I mean, I would not want to see this thing behind me on track. I'll tell you that right now.
go from last place to first place. Next up, it is Reimer. How you doing, bud?
Hey guys, fantastic.
Can you hear me, bud?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hey, how did you feel tonight in the 5-lap races?
Oh, I felt great physically, anyways.
Some struggling a little bit.
Absolutely, my goodness. Yeah, I don't think I was getting the heat up tonight.
All right, Reimer, what's the team name you're going to be heading up?
So, as you can
All right, Reimer. So we've got your livery up here. What? Give us some background. It's an awesome livery, but where did the team name come from?
Probably the right way to describe it because it's 10 months, right? We're not going to see we're not seeing the end of this until next December.
absolutely, and like we got time to progress, and that's why I decided to go with this. And I think anyone that's going to be on my team is looking for the same thing, so it's going to be fun.
Well, cool, very cool. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Message in the team name, and I love the livery too. Reimer, good luck in the Constructors Cup.
Thank you guys. Thanks for everything tonight.
All right, let's move on. Leisig, you're up next. How you doing, bud?
Well, I could be better after those 5-lappers. They were tough.
It was tough, man. Look, we're gonna dig into a few questions, and man, I would have expected you to pull down maybe 1 or 2 wins this evening. How are you feeling about it?
Trust me, that was my expectation as well. I'm a bit disappointed, but it is what it is. I'm racing with the five fastest guys, so it's gonna be tough.
Oh, is it definitely gonna be a challenge this evening for sure? All right, Lysik, tell us about the team name and let's see the livery.
So for team name, I went with the Green Goblins, which will be reflected a bit on the livery. Again, this is dependent on who has this livery. Hopefully, most of them do, and if not, we'll have to perform a variation of it.
Yeah, the
Well,
livery
let's.
looks awesome. And I noticed you were running tonight in the races, maybe a kind of a testing livery kind of based off on it. Is that right?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I got a bit. I thought we were actually going to run the liveries, so I didn't have anything planned for anything extra, so I had to kind of improvise a bit. But yeah, we'll try it out. We'll see who has what liveries, and we'll try to find some sort of a variation if people don't have it.
Yeah, this one's a wild animal feel to it. I like the gray and I like that like nice neon green to it. So it's got like a matte black almost with some neon going. Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted it to look scary a bit.
It's gonna be scary. That's for sure. So, man, and I understand like the coordination's going to be difficult, but if you can get 4 players in that, it's going to be very cool to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice if we all can get it. Hopefully, we'll see.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed, Lysig. We'll dig more into the racing in a little bit. Thanks for being here. Let's move on. It's Barney in second place. You're going to be picking spot number 2. How are you feeling tonight, bud?
I think I could have had some more prep, but it is what it is. I'm happy
It's
where I am.
five. It's 5 races, man. It's a lot to prep for.
Oh yeah.
That's for
Oh yeah.
sure.
Definitely some tracks I haven't touched in months too, so it was interesting.
Yeah, and some surprise rain like was
Oh yeah.
difficult to deal with there.
Yeah.
So tell us what's the team name and talk to us a little bit about the livery.
The team name's Phantom F1. I was really thinking of I wanted a black scary car, kind of like Lysig said. I got to shout out PK for the livery because I've been rushing. I got a vacation coming up, so I really haven't had time to do much. And he was able to make a good livery. I'm gonna use his color basis for it, but it's pretty much, it's if everybody doesn't have that fresh paint livery, we can make something work. But the black purple look I think is good with the Phantom name, and the Phantom name was kind of just out of nowhere. I don't know.
It's just coming up on my screen now. So yeah, phantom's the right word for the scheme you've got going on here. Like a ghostly purple on a black background.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I mean, like I said, shout out PK for the livery, but he killed it, and I'm really liking the colors he chose. So I'm
It,
excited.
I'm liking these displays too. I don't know what you did to get the cars to blend into the background, but it's pretty cool, PK. It must be said.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm just having fun
All
with
right.
this, and I tried to take that phantom, kind of like that phantom, yeah, ghastly type, thing, and just run with it. And so, love the team name, and hope you guys do well.
Yeah, thanks,
All
man. You
right.
killed it.
All right, Barney, it's looking good for you. You're gonna have second pick, but let's turn now to the man of the evening. Z-Milk looked indomitable tonight, and we'll take the first pick. How are you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, pretty good. It was an exciting 5 laps, and the unveiling of the liveries is kind of like a fun thing for me personally. So, what's the team name, and tell us about the livery, bud?
So we are the Speed Demons.
Speed
Yep, with black and purple. I haven't seen the other liveries, but I might have to flip flop the colors there. I hear we got a lot of black going on.
There's three. There's a black and a neon green, and a black and a very ghostly purple. I'm waiting for for it to pop up on my screen so I can take a look at it.
So I really liked the Speed Demons livery because I felt like it embodied the colors and the feel of CCRL. What was kind of your thought process going through making this livery?
I always go with the black car usually, and then the purple just looks good up against it, and the with the metallic on both, it just pops.
The metallic is nice. Okay, so look, this looks different enough for me personally.
Okay,
I think
good.
this one's very sexy. Yeah, I like it. And so in fast tonight, Z Milk, you looked very locked in this evening. How are you feeling about the wins?
Pretty good. I don't think I was the fastest out there, but I tried to stay out of the incidents, and it seemed to work out.
Consistency
Yes.
does pay off in the end. All right. Well, Z Milk, very cool car. Speed Demons is a very neat team name. So we're going to step now into the question section. Everybody come off mute if you don't mind. I have a few questions for everybody. And then we're going to dig into uh, oh, except for Rhymer. Rhymer's too much feedback. You'll need to mute until you want to talk. Sorry, bud. So let's go over the team names again. It was Curveball heading up the Yellow Jackets. Then it's Rhymer bringing up Team Journey. Lysig will head up the Green Goblins. Barney's going to be leading Team Phantom, and Z Milk will head up the Speed Demons. So, guys, the 5 laps. Let's start this 5 lap race. Let's start with Z Milk. Did you prep a lot for this evening because you look pretty locked in across 5 very different tracks?
I was on vacation from work today, so I did practice a little bit.
that's that's a good time to take vacation. How are you feeling? Some bragging rights in your corner. These are not slow guys around you, and 119 points out of a possible 125. How are you feeling about having the first pick?
I'm feeling good, but I still don't know who I'm taking, so it doesn't make it any easier.
Ah, let's see. There's a good. Okay. In Leipzig, man, it must be said, if PK and I were talking before the show started, and we were guessing that you were going to have first pick. How are you feeling after all those races shook out?
I mean, it was tough, and I knew it was going to be tough. I was trying to go race by race, but that wasn't working. So, uh, yeah, it was just tough. I got into a lot of crashes, a lot of incidents with other drivers. Nobody's fault, but that's just racing, you know.
Oh, Jeddah is definitely. Yeah, we were speculating. It's not a good track to go exploring the edges of the track
Oh yeah,
for sure. And 5 laps not enough to get any kind of recovery if something happens.
yeah, exactly. It was tough.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd love to hear just a general question from everybody. What are the team captains' general impressions about this Cheek Clappers Constructor Cup, C4? Like, how are you guys feeling about this format, about the setup for the races? Just any thoughts in general you guys would like to share?
Well, I mean, I think especially the race formats that we're gonna have, they're gonna be very interesting. I mean, we all like the F1 game, we all like racing, but having this special limitations that we have to follow, I think it's just gonna make it even more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Go ahead.
I was gonna say curveball. Yeah, I mean each race is gonna bring so many different twists, and having that engineer out there too helping, I think it's gonna be a real good team atmosphere too. I think.
Yeah, the team aspect of it is the thing I'm looking forward to the most, right? Because like, it's 4 men in a team all working together. You probably going to end up with some very interesting situations. So, so next question then. Um, about the modifiers. So the modifiers themselves, we broke down a little bit earlier. You've got the double points for pool 3. You've got the captain hostage one. Those were a couple of our favorites, I think. So from the captains, any modifiers you're particularly looking forward to?
For me, it's got to be the rainbow race where we got to use all 3 sets of tires. I think that's going to be a lot of strategy that you can play around with different drivers.
It's
Yeah,
going to be
Barney here. I really like that one too. Rainbow. That one's sweet.
Yeah, I think PK agreed that was one of his favorites on the list as well. That one's going to be a nightmare. I'm kind of dreading that one personally because we got to analyze it. You know what I mean? And like, how do you really suss out what's the smartest thing to be doing when everybody's got to use 3 tires and a 50%er? I don't know. I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about it, I think.
I think that's what's so cool about it. There's so many different variations you can run into. I mean, you can have a guy just run 2 laps on softs and then run out the rest of the race.
Yeah, it's gonna be neat. So, what about so this again for all the captains? What about which modifier are you not looking forward to? Which one are you dreading?
The
I would have to
hostage.
say, yeah, the captain hostage for sure.
That one's gonna hurt.
That's going to be tough.
The captain, if you know what, that's got to be the right answer because if I was a captain and I had to watch an AI mess up my race for 9 laps, oh man, gonna be painful.
Yeah, most definitely.
Anyone else? Any other one they're not really looking forward to besides Captain Hostage?
Well, the top to back is also going to be interesting as well. I guess there's a bit of luck going into place there in terms of where we will start the actual race.
you looking for points per race is obviously a big one, but there's average penalties per races. There's attendance things to think about. What's the trait you're interested in getting on your team?
Barney here. Well, I'm definitely looking for pace. I know there's some guys in here that are the last few races have really shown themselves, and I think the whole team aspect can help, everybody. We can tweak setups, we can get things adjusted so that, maybe the mistakes that they did make during that race won't happen again, and they can, finish on the podium.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, curveball here. I mean, I'm looking for consistency. I mean, we need to be consistency and pace. You got to have a good balance between having a couple quick guys, a couple consistent guys, so that way you can play around with different strategies.
Yeah, that's very true.
Z Milk here. I agree with curveball. A little bit of mixture of the pace and consistency.
So balance between pace and consistency, big factors. I gotta say, like the way the pools are structured, it is just based on that one points per race statistic across all of season 2. But some of those racers in Pool C, Pool B, they've been racing like they should be in Pool A lately. So I'm interested to see uh, how the picking turns out. So final question here for all of the captains except for Z Milk. Okay, because Z Milk, you actually get to pick first. So we're going to find out the answer to this question later. Captains, except for Z Milk, assuming you got to pick first, who would you grab?
Oh, that's a tricky question.
Hmm So
All
we'd
right,
like to know.
that's not tricky for me. I'd probably go Pontiac. I mean, he's my
Pontiac
teammate.
Bandit.
We've been through it all lately.
So curveball would go Pontiac. Who wants to go next?
Well, I mean, I'll probably pick my teammate from Haas, Antonio. We seem to
And
have good chemistry, so
Leisig would go with Antonium.
Hey, this
Barney
is
here. I
Reimer,
was gonna go
guys.
with
Oh,
oh,
go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Barney.
Barney.
I was gonna go with Walrus. I think he hasn't been
Ooh,
here long, but he's shown some serious pace. And
yeah.
I think, like I said, just a little bit of adjustment could put him right where he needs to be.
Walrus on. Everybody got a different favorite here, and let's hear from the last one.
I'm going for Antonium here, guys. He's consistent and reliable. He shows up.
Antonium gets 2 votes. All right, Captain. So let's go ahead. I'll have everybody mute your mics. We're gonna turn now to the event we've been waiting for. It's enough buildup, I think. It's time for the the cheek clappers. It's too many C's. I'm just calling it C4. It's time for the C4. We're going to start a 5-minute timer right now, and you take your time, captains. It's going to be Z Milk picking first, followed by Barney, then Leisig, then Reimer, then Curveball, and we're going to do 5 picks. Then we're going to take another 5 minutes while PK and I dissect the decisions you've made, and then we'll do the next round, and then we'll take another 5 minutes to think about the final picks. And up on the screen now, you see the Constructors Cup with all the names. Oh, very cool. And your Tier A, Tier B, and Tier C picks. So 4 minutes remain. PK, what do you think, man? Who do you think Z Milk's gonna pick first?
I don't know. I mean, it's there's definitely 4 guys on that tier A that seem like they're a hot commodity, and Antonium especially. So we'll see. I think Antonium could definitely go first or second, followed by Bandit or Walrus.
Man, I'm surprised Owa's name not getting bound or not getting bandied around. His points per race is significantly higher than the rest Um, and his podium or his points finishes in season two pretty high up there in terms of that. So watch out for Owa. Antonio Pontiac Bandit is that he's a blue collar driver, man. He's always in the points. And if you want consistent finishes, I think you watch out for Pontiac. I think he could be a very big value add. Do you see any of the Tier B guys going in the first round?
Well, I'm not sure because I think that per the draft regulation, I think they have to take Tier A first and then move down to Tier B and then move down to Tier C. And I could be wrong, but I think that's the way Urban explained it. So we'll see
Oh,
what they do.
okay. Well, I'm so oh, crap. See, this is one of those things like I just want to take a moment again to thank everybody behind the scenes because all of these details they take a lot. Um, oh yeah, and you're getting the message there. It is correct. So I apologize. Tier A will go first, then Tier B, then Tier C. So there won't be a mix up there. So Curveball will only get to pick whoever does not get grabbed, but he will have first choice in Tier B for the Yellow Jackets. And man, because I'm looking at the Tier B guys and I'm thinking like Shashir has been great lately, a string of podiums. And God Rewinds has Tier S pace. Um, and Feeney can be a spark. You know, so there's names in Tier B that if I was picking, and I was saying Curveball's place, I might reach down and grab if I could one of the Tier B guys first. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
It's
it
hard to
makes
say.
a lot of sense to do something like that strategically because we know that
Yeah,
those guys are going to come in heavy at least for 2 rounds.
yeah, and the Tier C guys too. Like they get double points. So, you know, Urban Urban Agnote both lately in the points. Urban had a great race last week, I believe. So yeah, where they're at in their tier listing, maybe not quite representative of where they're at in terms of how good they're racing lately. So, oh, okay. We're gonna find out the teams here very soon. 1 minute to go, and we will start with Z Milk. I love the I love the graphics, man. PK, you did such a great job. Such a great job with all this stuff.
Thank you.
Uh, was okay. Was Rhymer or Curveball last? I just got a
I
message. I
thought it
could
was
have it written
Reimer.
down wrong. Rhymer was last.
According to the standings that we got, it is Z Milk first, Barney second, Lysig third, Curveball, and then Reimer.
Second. Okay. I apologize. Curveball, you get to pick fourth, bud. And it's just hard to do these things live with just, you know, your notebook.
Yeah, I've got
Right.
screens, I've got
Right.
paper and pen, and I've got my memory, and all three of those are not good enough.
Eh, And look, can you? Oh, you probably can't see any of this. Like, this is my scratched out, like all the statistics Urban fed me. I've got them categorized the way I want to see them. Oh man, it's just so much goes on behind the scenes. I really hope everybody's enjoying the show this evening. It has been 5 minutes, so let's start with the first pick for the C4 Cup. It is Z Milk, and who are you gonna pick for Team
Uh,
Speed Demons?
I'm gonna go with Antonium for the first pick.
Antonium goes first. The Haas driver.
Very
Very
fast.
popular pick this evening. Thank you very much. Now, let's turn to the second pick goes to Barney. Who are you going for Team Phantom?
I'm gonna have to get my guy Walrus. He's still there, and that's who I wanted.
Oh,
So the Angry Walrus.
Walrus. Walrus has been very quick, but still a bit of a mystery for me. You know, so Very fast driver could pay off big dividends. Let's go for the third pick, Lysick, Green Goblins. Who are you going with?
Yeah, so I'll go with the guy with the highest points per race. I'll take Owa. I'm surprised he's actually
Owa
left.
Owa goes third. A bit surprising for me too. I thought Owa would be a bit higher up. Pontiac Bandit and SP still in the mix here. Let's turn now to Curveball with the fourth pick. Yellow Jackets select who?
Let's go. Oh yeah, we know we're going with Pontiac here. Keep the team name
Pontiac,
alive.
Pontiac Bandit. I mean, always in the points. Probably gonna
Very
pay off
yeah.
quite well. Oh, I love, I love it. I can see it updating on the screen. It's so awesome. All right, so that means Reimer, you're gonna be paired up with SP this evening.
All right, sounds fantastic. Can't wait.
S, SP's points per race very high, 5.15. Very low on the DNF. SP still a very valuable addition. So, guys, we're
Absolutely.
going to take.
Been on
Oh, go
form.
ahead. I'm sorry. So, uh, now we're going to take another 5 minutes here. So, captains, take a look at the pier at Tier B, but this time it's going to be reverse order. Reimer will pick first, followed by Curveball, then Z Milk Barney. I'm sorry. Reimer Curveball, Lysick, Barney, Z Milk. That will be the
There we
order
go.
going in reverse.
So some
So
interesting picks coming out of round one.
yeah. Oh, I thought Owa would go first. I mean, the numbers just are. He's got a big advantage, and in fact, almost made a team captain. To be honest, between him and Curveball, Owa was quite close to being not a draftee, but a drafter.
Yeah, and I think looking at his points per race alone, yeah, he belongs in that S tier. So really, kind of a steal for Leisig to pick him up, pick number 3 in round one. So we'll see if
Yeah.
Leisig can capitalize that on that and get another good pick in round two.
So now Walrus a bit unknown. He's kind of new, right? But has got speed, So that I mean, but we don't know much about his consistency because we haven't seen him race a lot. But Antonium, Pontiac, and SP, they're almost always in the points. So safe bets there. Walrus could pay off big, and Owa big value play for Leipzig. You're absolutely right there. So 3 minutes left to decide. PK, who do you think going first out of the? Who would you grab first?
So tier B,
Uh,
I was looking at tier B earlier because all these guys are so equally matched as far as points per race go. But I
yeah.
probably would start looking at total races, and then also I'm kind of looking at these guys over the past, like you said, this last season. Some of these guys have been cultivated. They've been emerging. Guys like Shashir B, guys like
hmm
Mastermind Lindsay. These guys, Shashir B has been on a run of podiums in the elite tier lately, and his
Yeah.
form has not been better. So, I might take a guy like that who I know is in a good form.
Yeah.
God Rewind's also been in great form lately, fighting for wins. So, it's hard to say.
It is hard to say. For me, rewinds. I think I would stake it on rewinds. Like the pace is there for rewinds, right? So I mean, and if he continues to improve in the kind of like his improvement over time has been big lately, it seems to me, and if that continues, you can expect him to be on podiums over the next 10 months. So watch out for rewinds. Shashir has already proven bunch of podiums for him. Lindsay and Bongit, they're always up there. And Feeney can win races, right? We've seen race wins from him. Just, I think Feeney suffering the 11 DNFs just not helping him out very much. And his average his average penalties seconds per race here lately has been quite high. It
Yeah, I
must be
think
said.
Feeney might be a sleeper pick of this round too. If someone has been watching him, that they'll I could see him going early as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn it on. That's five. That's probably a little bit more than 5 minutes. Let's turn now. Uh, Remind me, it's Reimer.
Reimer.
Reimer getting the first pick, right? Reimer with the first pick in the second round. Who does Team Journey take?
Woo! Let's go, guys. So this was a hard pick. I mean, there's a lot of good, consistent guys, um, but I think I'd be silly not to take Shashir B with his form.
Ooh, Shashir in the McLaren getting picked first in round two, going to Team Journey. All right.
All right, so we got our workhorse now, so now we need our speedster. We're gonna go with God Rewinds.
God rewinds the second pick out of tier B, going to Team Yellow Jackets. Lysig, you've got pick three. What would you like, bud?
Yeah, I'm gonna be picking a Mastermind Lenzi. I've been stuck behind him in a couple races, and I want him on my team.
Hey, what a great compliment from the very quick Lysig. It's going to be Mastermind Lindsay joining the Green Goblins. Bongit and Feeney remain, and Barney, you've got the next pick for Phantom F1.
I'm gonna have to go with my guy Bong it there.
Bongit gets picked up. He's going to join the Phantom F1 team, and it'll be strange not to see him in a scarlet red. I think. All right, Z Milk. That leaves Feeney for you in tier, or I'm sorry, Feeney is going to be joining the Speed Demons for Z Milk's team. So most of qualifying done. Captains return now to deliberations. You've got 5 more minutes for the final round. Man, any surprises in the second round, PK?
Not really. That was like business as I thought it was gonna go. So
Yeah.
not super surprised.
I mean, I could have seen, for myself personally, I could have seen taking a risk with Feeney, right? Because race wins are a big deal at CCRL, and he does have a couple, and man, his speed is usually up there, but just plagued by the DNFs. That DNF number at 11 just a little too high. So I think there's hidden potential there. Um, but man, according to points per race, I think it went just about the way it should have.
Yep, I
So
totally agree.
third. So now let's look at the tier C pool. Urban, Anyote, Rob Stark, Hemphead, and Gila Monster. Now we've got two kind of unknowns. Hemphead's only been around for a couple of races, and Gila we know almost nothing about.
Yep. So in tier C, I'm really excited about Urban and Anyote. I think those will be the first two guys to go. And we're looking back to snake around. So Z Milk, I imagine, will take Anyote and then Barney to take Urban. And that could be flip flop. But, someone who we might see taken ahead of those guys too could be Rob Stark. He's done pretty solid in the elite tier recently. So those three guys are kind of inseparable.
Yeah, so he's a bit slower pace wise, but man, he always seems to have wheels on his car at the end of the race. And when you have like high DNF tracks, those are points in the bank, just keeping the car underneath you.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
for my money, yeah, for my money though, it's got to be Urban first pick. I think has shown he's been like fast lately, and very very good in the last race. I think Anyote too had what was it? I think a pretty neat fight with Pontiac Bandit a couple of races ago. Um, but man, there's one stat here that does not go in Anyote's favor, and it is the number of penalty seconds per race here in season 2.1. It is entirely too high, Anyote. It's sitting at 23. It's sitting at 23 at the moment. That's too many. That's too many penalties.
Yeah, but I think I think a lot of those penalties came from tracks that we saw earlier in the season, tracks like Canada, where that's a high penalty race. And I think Anyote's form has definitely improved since then.
Yeah, so that's true. My penalties per second stat only includes 2.1, which is not a big sampling. Um, yeah, so Anyo, man, and the two unknowns, they're big gambles. Hemphead, Gila, not really sure what you're gonna get out of them. I don't think so. Let's turn now to Z-Milk for the final round of draft for the C4 Constructor Cup. Z-Milk with the first pick in round 3. Who do you want for Speed Demons?
I'm gonna have to go with off a really good last race. I'm gonna have to go with Urban.
Urban it is. He goes first in round 3, and he's going to join the Speed Demons. Let's turn now to Barney with the second pick in round 3.
I'm gonna go with Anyote, man. Called it on the head.
Anyote goes second. No surprises there. Barney will take him for Phantom F1. Now, Rob Stark, Hemphead, and Gila are left. Leipzig, what's your choice?
So this one's a tough one. I would want to take one of the guys with no well, not experience on the league at least, but I think I'm gonna go safe. I'm gonna go with Rob Stark.
Rob Stark goes third. He does score points. I think that's pretty good. I mean, with no information on the other two, really, I think Rob Stark the right pick there. Hemphead and Gila remain, and it is Curveball with the final actual pick here in the draft for the Yellow Jackets. Curveball, who do you want?
Yep. So Yellow Jackets are gonna go with Hemphead.
Hemphead goes fourth. Congratulations on that team, and that means Reimer, you will take the total unknown. Gila Monster will join Team Journey.
Very well. Welcome to the team, Gila.
All right. Captains, thank you so much for. Look, I think I put you through the ringer this week. You guys had to read a number of walls of text just to make sure we were all on the same page for this evening. I really appreciate everyone being here and participating. What a fun event. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dresden and PK, for doing all the work you guys do for us here.
Just shout out to Urban for putting all this together, and along with all the advisors coming together to put together a neat event. So we will close it out here. And to everybody watching at home, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to run through the teams real quick. It is Green Goblins. Leipzig will join Owa, Mastermind Lindsay, and Rob Stark.
Yep, and Barney's team, the Phantom F1. Barney 513, the captain. Duh Angry Walrus joined Bong It and Anyo Te to fill out Phantom F1.
I lost the screen with the names. You're going to have to close it out. Oh, it's back. It's back. Speed Demons with Z-Milk. That includes Antonium, Feeney, and Urban.
And did you already hit Yellow Jackets?
No, I didn't.
Yellow Jackets,
Go for it.
Curveball, 1993, Pontiac Bandit 16, God Rewinds, and Hemphead.
And finally, it's Team Journey headed up by Reimer. SP's on that team. Shashir is going to be driving them alongside Gila Monster. All right, CCRL, it was fun, man. I really enjoyed this. And man, this like whole screen is awesome. I hope everybody watching at home enjoyed it as well, and I hope go tell your friends and family this is going to be a race they can get into. They just got to root for their team. Let's make this like a CCRL community night. I hope it pans out.
Yep, I think it will. Like I said earlier, it's got a real hometown feel to it. The draft was awesome. I'm excited to see where this thing goes, Drez.
Me too. Me too, bud. All right, let's close the show. CCRL, we're going to see you live again this Wednesday for the Elite Tier and the first Constructor Cup. That's in March. Watch out for that. My name is Dresden. I was joined by PK.
It's been real.
And it was quite an evening. Good night, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday.
Have a good one.
Do you want to know what it's like? How it feels behind the wheel. On the most exclusive asphalt in the world. 1,000 horsepower at your command. Speed like you've never known. Millimeters between fame and failure. Milliseconds between first and forgotten. Take a seat.
Make the cheeks clap. Make the cheeks clap.